Ah, Breath of the Wild. I think most of us remember the first time that we picked up that game-changing game. Over the last 6 years, the game has been out. These new people all around the world have found and fallen in love with it. And all the time, as someone that's been playing these games for 15 years, it may surprise you to know that I didn't actually pick it up on release day. In fact, I never nearly played it at all. And guess what that means? The custom Lego Zelda project that I've been throwing myself into is only around because of, well, me changing my mind. As if I hadn't have played the game, I don't think we'd be here. So as we approach Tears of the Kingdom, it's time to reminisce and tell the story of how I nearly didn't play the game. First, let's be clear. To clarify, yeah, I wanted Lego Zelda sets way before 2017, right? This is not explicitly tied to Breath of the Wild, as we have pictures of me trying mocks out in 2008 and 2011. Specifically, the golden age of Lego Zelda submissions in 2012 and 2013. I remember voting for those projects. I've been around a while. This is not me becoming some sort of fake fan. But but in the time since that golden era, my favourite game, Skyward Sword, moved on, and Breath of the Wild was nowhere in sight. That development time was insanely long, at least it felt like. The fire and the attention span started to dwindle over time, and also I was a bad gamer. Awful, in fact. It took me 4 years to make my way to Demise in Skyward Sword, and then another 6 to actually beat him. I didn't beat the game until February 2021. And it's sufficient to say that my gaps between play sessions lengthened as I moved on to other games. Besides this, let's look at the internet at the time. I was sort of late to discover what it could offer me. I'd used it all the time for school research back in 2011 and practical purposes, but I didn't really discover Nintendo forums or the fact that there was a new Zelda at the time, Breath of the Wild, that was coming out at all. I didn't know. In fact, I was barely in the LEGO space online, although I do remember being around for the exclusive reveal of the Lonely Mountain set for The Hobbit with Smorg on LEGO.com. It was really cool. But besides that, I pretty much watched LEGO speed builds and had the Club magazine come to me in official print. And you could sort of say that I guess I was oblivious. Anyway, that's the context, because when the 2017 trailer dropped for Breath of the Wild, was aware that the Switch was releasing. I was aware enough to complain about backwards compatibility and knew that I wouldn't be buying in, as I was happy with my Wii U, and the games that were releasing were mostly going to be dual releases in 2017. Beyond this, I wasn't really gaming much at that time anyway. Between the intensifying Lego hobby and obviously schoolwork back in the day, the time I had was less. And I guess overall it sort of impacted my interest in the whole cultural bubble that is Nintendo. Like I think a lot of people for the Wii U era. Although I wasn't really upset with them because of the Wii U or bored with them, I was just sort of moving around, just trying to work out who I was going to be. Um, Link and other characters were still some of my favourite stories, and I'd revisit the games and titles when feeling nostalgic. But I'd sort of come to a crossroads where if they didn't hook me, I probably would have drifted away from gaming as a hobby altogether. And alongside that, there's another story for another day, where if I hadn't have been hooked by a certain Lego set, I probably wouldn't be in the Lego hobby either. 2015 was a rough year for my taste in Lego, but I'm getting sidetracked away. Basically, like all people, you come to a road where you either give up on a hobby or you continue on it, and I reached that point for Nintendo in about 2016. So that trailer came out in January 2017, and let's just put it like this trailer is fantastic. I know that now. But here's the truth, it's a very slow start for a trailer. And when a friend showed it to me for the first time, it did sort of lose me. I didn't listen to that awesome crescendo of music or understand what they were showing me. All those bird shots at the beginning sort of lost my attention span. I know, it's awesome. It really is. It's my favorite trailer now, guys. Don't worry. But to be fair to me, I didn't really have that much experience with trailers, and I kind of knew none of the context behind the development of Breath of the Wild. It was a literal crossroads, and I wasn't initially interested. I was sort of just a few months away from figuring out what I truly loved and enjoyed about my hobbies. And as I kid you not, I said to this trailer, this amazing, awesome trailer, I said, cool, and walked away. And I do feel like I have to say it again. Not a fake fan. Love the series. I've been there since before SS, and I cannot live without it. but I guess I had a momentary lapse um, because as soon as the gameplay hit, it started to intrigue me. You guys remember what it was like in 2017? It was all over YouTube. It was everywhere. People spoiling bosses and whatnot. And obviously, I didn't care because I didn't think I was interested. So then I started to watch a Let's Play, and then another. And by the time we get to December 2017, I'd already caved and had the Wii version with DLC and was obsessed. And by the time I was done by the main story, it had rekindled everything on the Lego Zelda side of things as well, which was still all dormant. And of course, my interest in the series and the Zelda history, the LPs for the older games which I hadn't played, like TP at the time, and to a wide extent, Nintendo as a whole. And while I wouldn't get a Switch 2021, it really did represent the sort of renaissance period with my love for this company, and of course with the Lego Zelda system. It really is the turning point that got us to where we are here. And I've sort of never looked back. I've had so many memories discovering different games, playing with different people, talking about games, characters, merch, and of course designing sets. While I look back fondly, there is one thing, of course, that I would change, and that's been evident in the way that I've approached Tears of the Kingdom. See, my personal favourite moment in Breath of the Wild is the Nature fight. Yes, I love the story builds and the music and Hyrule Castle, which is my favourite section in game and potentially all of gaming, but it was the Nature fight when I realised what the game would let me do and how open approaching this challenge could be. It meant a lot to me, and when I came to realise is how much more it would have meant if I'd not known it was in the game. The Let's Play that got me to play Breath of the Wild, well, it kind of spoiled most of the game. I still had a lot of fun, but I knew exactly what was happening and how to solve the problems. So that's why I'm doing Tears of the Kingdom blind. I watched trailers and the Enuma demo. That's just my personal stance on it. And from that alone, the potentials got me excited. Watching me explore that skyline just gave me that super special feeling that I only get from these Zelda games, and I'm beyond excited to discover it all for myself. And that's the whole story. I'm going to be there at the doors release day in just a week's time to pick up my pre-order, and I've got the whole weekend to get some hours in. I'm beyond excited, and even if it's not Game of the Year, I'll have fun, just like I hope you all out there will too. I should have still content ready on the weekly, but if I don't upload, just know I'm having fun with this thing we've waited 6 years for. It's a really, really rare opportunity. I won't be making customs of this specific game until about a month afterwards. As you know by now, these things take time, and I'll give my thoughts in the game on a special video about a month after release too. I hope you're looking forward to the trailer custom set that I'll be releasing on Friday, and I'll see you soon. But before I go, I just wanted to throw some random stuff out there now. I'm only basing this stuff off the first two trailers, and anything else that happens to be real in game is purely spectrally, so don't take me as spoiling here, but that's your warning if you want to run away. Here are my big ones. I hope that we have a one-on-one sword duel with Ganondorf. I think that would be super, super cool. I also hope that there is a second and potentially third phase, and I would very much like for one of those phases to be based around one of the crafting abilities, and for there to be some sort of stupid mech fight, or like building platforms to like fight an enraged bipedal or pig-like Ganon. I just think it'd be really cool to have a mech fight in the final boss rush. Secondly, the weird dragon thing that we've seen around, I hope that there's a variant of it that has elemental heads, specifically one head for each element, so like a lightning one, a fire one, and an ice one. I think that'd be really, really cool. Next, I hope there are more than 4 dungeons. I don't need the dungeons to be traditional, I'm happy with a new take, but I'd like there to be more than 4. Would be lovely. And I wouldn't mind if micro challenges came back too, but I want at least 5 substantial meaty things to get my hand into. I hope that it performs okay in performance-wise. I'm not a huge graphics or frame rate person, but I do hope that I'm fine with Korok Forest slowdowns and stuff like from the first game, but anything slower, I hope it's not too bad so that people don't have anything to rant about on the internet. Next, I hope there's some more classic enemy reinventings. Obviously, we've seen potentially a Redead in Trailer 2. I hope for more. I don't have anyone specific in mind, but just the more the better. 5, I hope that I don't actually know, I could probably look this up, but that they rename the boss bokoblins to Bubblins or Blins, because to me it just seems like the Phantom Hourglass Blins. Why forget about them? They look cool. Lastly, I hope that those Talos monsters are as fun to fight as they look from the 2021 trailer. Most importantly, I'm just ready for this. I've waited so long, and it's all here. So go out there and enjoy it, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye bye.